welcome to Hyperion's first show of our 2021 season, Macbeth. We're very excited to have you. My name is Jamie Ostman. I am the president of Hyperion and one of the co-directors of Macbeth.
And I am Abraham Jojo Myers. I'm the other director of this production.
We're so excited to have you here for our spooky Halloween matinee. And we just wanted to take a moment to thank our entire cast and crew before we begin. They've really kind of stepped it up with this new foray into the virtual world of theater, overcoming anything from late Amazon deliveries to webcams breaking and trying to black out the windows so that the lighting looks good. So we're really, really proud of them.
This is a new medium for us to work in. Hyperion has never done a show on the internet. It has been a brave new world for us to explore. But I will say that it may not be perfect. So I want you to take, as we begin this show, the advice of the chorus from the beginning of Henry V, who says, "Let us, ciphers to this great account, on your imaginary forces work. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Into 1,000 parts divide one man and make imaginary puissance. Think, when we talk of horses, that you see them, printing their proud hooves in the receiving earth. For 'tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings." Enjoy the show.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done. When the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
Fair is foul.
And foul is fair.
Hover through the fog.
And fill the air.
Bloody man is that? He can report as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt of the new estate.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, from the western isles of kerns and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune, on his damned quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
As whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwracking storms and direful thunders break, so from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark, no sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Unless they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go, get him surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And, to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness. No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Look what I have, look what I have.
Show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb. Racked us homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand.
Posters of the sea and land.
Thus do go about.
Thrice to thine,
And thrice to mine.
And thrice again.
to make up nine.
The charm's wound up.
Foul and fair day have not seen.
A forest called to fours. What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on't. Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
But sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grains will grow and which will not, speak then to me.
Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be of Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, and why, upon this blasted heath, you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
Earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Are such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, weren't it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's there?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. As thick as tale came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sights, not to pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Treasons, capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor? The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, but oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be good, cannot be ill. If ill, why hath it given the earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth infix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder is yet but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him. Like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what, come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and, at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts, each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
His execution men are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now weighs heavy on me. Would thou hadst less deserved, that the portion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, who do but what they should by doing everything safe towards your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. This is a step on which I must fall down or else or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires.
They met me in the day of success, and I've learned by the perfect's report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. While as I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters referred me, and referred me to the coming on of time with, Hail, king that shalt be. This I have thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have, great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it.
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming.
The raven himself is hoarse. It croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the axis and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold! Great Gloms, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And one goes hence.
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle has the pleasant. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses. See, our honored hostess. Why is the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as a spur, hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Your servants ever.
Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him.
If it were done when 'tis done, and 'twere were done quickly. If the assassination could tremble up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank controlled of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach blood instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murder shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculty so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe, shall blow the horror deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
He asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people which would be worn now, in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now, to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it were smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, which to the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume. And when in swinish sleep their drenched natures lies as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men and children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber and used their very daggers that they had done?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fair show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take 'tis later, sir.
There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's there?
A friend.
What? Sir, not yet at rest. The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant of defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think none of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure, I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Is this a dagger, which I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this, which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes, I made the fools of the other senses, or else are worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on my blade indulging gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the 1/2 world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Thy sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time, which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Peace. Who's the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives the sterns good night? He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their posits, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I'm afraid they've awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss him. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband?
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear noise?
I heard heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Oh, this is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. One cried, God bless us, and amen the others. They had seen me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear. I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could not I pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so what will make us mad?
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more, Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brainsickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
Go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on't again I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Is this the knocking? Oh, it's with me when every noise appalls me. What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Oh, great Neptune's ocean, wash this blood clean from my hand.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy had left you unattended. Hark, we're knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's the knocking indeed. The man reporter of Hellgate. He should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith. Here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, that committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, who's there? Faith. Here's an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Oh, come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock. Never had quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. Anon! Anon!
Was it so late, friendy, you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep, and giving him the lie leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night. Is thy master stirring? My knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did point so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down. And as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying, with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird did clamor the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
Horror, horror, horror. Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What did you say? The life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sights with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Ring the bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! As from your graves, rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror! Ring the bell!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of this house? Speak, speak!
Gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Whoa, alas, what, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality, always but toys. Renown and grace is dead, the wine of life is drawn, and mere lees are left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Our royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were battered with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared, were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal, and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gash stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain? Who had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make his love known?
Let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence, against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all.
But on manly readiness, and me to the hall together.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show in unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. All to England.
To Ireland, aye. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, to horse.
Known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth have slain.
Alas a day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. The king's two sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, were stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own lives' means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall to Macbeth.
He is already named, and gone to Scone to be invested.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird women promised, and I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, should they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest. Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired you could advice at this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to your horse. Adieu till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time calls upon's.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears and Banquo stick deep, there is none but he whose being I do fear. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown and put a barren scepter in my grip, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man to make them kings. The seeds of Banquo, kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he, in the times past, who has kept you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, and all things else that might say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience to be so predominant in your nature that you can let this go?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue you go for men, as mongrels, spaniels, curs, and hounds are clept all by the name of dog, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business into your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who were our health but sickly in this life, which, in his death, were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid in it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True,
my lord.
So he is mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And thence it is that I, to your assistance, do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy, the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight. Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour.
We are resolved, my lord.
It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things are that all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. But let the frame of things destroying to both the worlds suffer ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever he sleeps well, nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence with both eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo in his Fleance lives?
But in them nature's copies not return.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces this great bond which keeps me pale. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth eats not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveler apace to keep the timely in, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Give us a light there, ho!
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are at the court. A light, a light.
'Tis he. Stand to it.
It shall be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance, fly, fly, fly! Thou mayst revenge.
Who did strike out the light?
Was it not the way?
There's but one down, the sun is fled.
We have lost the best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
A hearty welcome.
Thanks.
Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks, they are welcome.
There's blood upon thy face.
Banquos then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats yet. He's good that did the like for flans. If thou didst it, thou art the none peril.
Most royal sir, Fiance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. What? Banquo's safe?
Aye, my good lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his face. The least death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis a making 'tis given with welcome. To feed we're best at home, from thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting we're bare without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company?
The table's full.
What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentlemen, rise, his highness is not well.
Sit! Worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary, upon a thought he will again be well. If much you know him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not. Were you a man?
Who's the one that dare look upon that which might appall the devil?
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you sent lecture to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her granddam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Did you see there? Behold the claw, see! Why, what cry if thou canst not speak to? If charnel houses on our graves must send those that we bury back, our monument shall be the maws of kites!
What quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I did see him.
Aye, for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now. The time is done that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools! This is more strange than such a murder is.
Why, worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here! To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties.
And the pledge.
And quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold, thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with!
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery, hence! So, being gone, I am a man again.
You displace the mirth, broke the good meaning with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? And overcome us like a summer's cloud with that our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine are blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have, by maggot pies and choughs and rooks, brought forth the secrets to men of blood. Oh, it is the night.
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Macbeth denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them. But in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. I am in blood, so far stepped that, should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as to go o'er.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, go to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Your former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which you can interpret farther. Only I say, things are strangely born. But peace, for from broad words, and because he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid, to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these we may again give to our tables meat. Sleep to our knights, do faithful homage, and receive free honors, all of which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate Macbeth that he prepares for some attempt of war.
And he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute sir not I, the cloudy messenger turns he his back and hums, as who should say, you'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer.
That well might hold him to a caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England, and unfold his message ere he comes, that a swift blessing may return to this, our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge could pine.
Up here cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw.
Double, double toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Foot of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog.
Double, double toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, moor and gulf of the ravined salt sea shark, root of hemlock, baked in dark, finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's children for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
Now, you secret black and midnight hags, what didst you do?
A deed.
Without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. How are you come to know it? Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
demand?
We'll answer.
Say if thou hadst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call. Let me see you.
Come high or low?
Thyself and office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the bane of autumn. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast heart my fear aright, but one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another more potent than the first.
Had I 3 years, I'd hear thee.
Bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of the wind-born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the rounded top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-netted, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Birnam wood the high Dunsinane hill shall come against it.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet Boatman's good! Rebellious dead, rise Neville to the wood of Burnham rise, and our high place Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet, my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if thou art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you.
Show.
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 Show his eyes and grieve his heart.
Come like shadows.
So depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down, horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood bolter Banquo smiles upon me. What? Is this so? Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Slain you the weird sisters.
No, my lord, 'tis 2 or 3.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord. 'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that come to give you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now to crown my thoughts with axe, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, bring to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom! To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. So little is the wisdom, as the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea each way and move. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool should I stay longer. It would be to my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sira, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they. My father's not dead for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. And what wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet in faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Every one that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst.
Bless you, fair dame, I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here, hands with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were fell cruelty, to deny your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither shall I fly? I have done no harm. Yet I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable. To do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, shall I put up that womanly defense to say that I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where's your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayest find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-eared villain!
What, you egg? Young fry of treachery!
He has killed me, Mother. Run away, I pray you.
Mother! Mother! Mother!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall and birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds with Scotland, and cries out like a syllable of dolor.
What I believe I'll wail, what no belief, and what I can redress. As I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you have spoken may be so, perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You loved him well. He hath not touched you yet.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge.
I have lost my hopes.
Why? In that rawness left you wife and child, those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Oh, bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases sure. For goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, lord. I'd not be the tyrant that thou think'st for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day gashes at it her wounds. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer and more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. Yet had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland. Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live! O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed. These evils, though thou repeatest upon thyself, have banished me from Scotland. My breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples and reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. God above, deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. What I am is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed before thy here approach, old Seward, with 10,000 warlike men already at port was setting forth. Now will together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. See who comes there.
My countryman, and yet I know him not.
My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither.
Ah, yes, I know him now. Good God, betimes remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother but our grave, where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps dying or ere they sicken.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a miser of your speech, how ghost!
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause? Or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
if it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner whereon the quarry of these murdered deer to add to the death of you.
Merciful heaven. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
Children too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
I must be from thence. My wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of this great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. Oh, how kind. What? All my pretty little chickens and their damn at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot help remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart. Enrage it.
Oh, I could play the braggart with mine, the woman with mine eyes, and braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Bring thou front to front this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
When was it last?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterward seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
She has light by her continually, 'tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now?
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands.
Here's a spot. Hark, she speaks.
Out, damn spot. Out, I say. 1, 2. Why then? 'Tis time to do it. How is murky? Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier and afeard? What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Will these hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mar all but this starting.
Go to, go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
There's a smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh. This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you again, Banquo was buried. He could not come out in his grave. To bed, to bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now? To bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More need she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night. Good doctor. The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenges burn in them, for their causes would to the bleeding and grim alarm excite the mortified man.
Near Burnham Wood shall we well meet them. That way are they coming.
Well, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly wheel, and with him pour we in our country's purge each drop of us.
Or so much as it needs, to do the sovereign flower and drown the weeds. Make we our march towards murder.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham would remove to Dunson, and I cannot tame with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know immortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. And fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gots are thy goose look?
There is 10,000
Geese,
soldiers.
villain!
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence! Satan, I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say! This push will cheer me ever or deceive me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sere. The yellow leaf and all else that should accompany old age is honor, love, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have. But in their stead, curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath, which the poor heart fain deny and dare not. Satan!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight, till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me mine armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses, scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Row physic to the dogs. Oh, none of it. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery err in report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope, and none serve him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
The time approaches, that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe.
Hang our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle strength will laugh, a siege to scorn. Here, let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful beard to beard and beat them backward home.
No!
What is that noise? I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been that my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my foe of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life rent. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. It would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue. Thy story, quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave?
Let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3-mile radius may you see it coming. I say, a moving grove.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane. And now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm and out! If this which ye about just disappear, there is no flying hence, no tarrying here. I begin to be weary of the sun and wish the state of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou to be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a harder name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a name more hateful to mine ear.
No more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakst.
Thou was born of woman. But swords I smile at. Weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
That way then, wizards. Tyrant! Show thy face! Thou beest slain, and with no sword of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Turn! Hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bludger villain, than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest a labor. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed that palter with us in a double sense, that take the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be in the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and under it, here you may see the tyrant.
I will not yield! To kiss the ground beneath young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse! Thou, Burnham, would become to Dunsinane, and thou oppose being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries old enough.
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Hail, King! For so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed crown. The time is free. I see thee encompassed with thy kingdom's pearl. Speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland.
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves, and make us even with you. What's more to do, which would be newly planted with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad, who fled the snares of watchful tyranny. producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who as 'tis thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place.